Hey, Joe Palmieri here, HomeFit Personal Training Company, and this is a production of Whole Being Strength and Conditioning for Spirit and Body. I know it's been a minute. I was out of commission for a little while. September is kind of a blur. Those of you who know me know that I got infected. I had a little stint with COVID, and that wasn't fun. That's okay. I want to talk to you guys about a few different things wrapped around my experience with it. But the theme of this video is getting back on the horse and some of the mentalities and some of the things that might help you, some of the stuff that I struggled with, not only through the process of just trying to fight off COVID and then also to recover from it, but also getting back to regular routines, trying to get to the mentalities and the physicalities and the spiritualities that you had before, and just want to kind of relate to you who may have already gone through it, going through it, or haven't at all. And I want to shed some light on some things that impacted me and that I had to go through. So back on the horse. So I have not been doing videos for a while. So this is back on the horse for me doing videos. I've been kind of putting them off. I haven't felt really inspired. I've been trying to work on myself and get myself to a place to where I felt passionate enough to speak some of my experiences. So I gave myself time to process what was going on and get through some things. And this might be kind of a long rant video. I'm going to try to shorten it up as best as possible. I just have a lot of cool things I think that are cool to say about what my experience was. So back on the horse once again. When you're going through a process with any type of illness, there's a huge degree of mental aspect. I mean, that's just what it is. If we've got healthy minds, you're going to be able to resist, fight, heal, renew. It's just the way we're designed in a faster capacity, in a better way. And all around, if you're more mentally sound on a regular basis, you're just going to be generally a healthier individual. So this is something that I was really working on, have been for a long time. It was kind of at a pretty big apex of the way I was feeling spiritually, mentally, physically before I got sick. I was doing lots of intentional things to prepare myself, not for that, but just for anything that may come, because that's kind of the mentality that I live in. So I was feeling really good the week before I ended up getting sick. So got sick and tried to keep that mentality. Let me tell you guys, as much preparation as you have for certain things, the biggest, most intense impact on my struggle with COVID, coming out of it, and then recovery has been mentality. Negativity is something that I try to steer away from in a lot of different areas, whether it's social media, news, the things that people around you are feeding into you. Some of that stuff can be beneficial, but if it's coming from a place that is doom and gloom all the time, it is not a great place to be in for healing, for renewal, and all those kind of things. Felt really good first 5 days, and then I got discouraged because I do so many intentional things that the virus impacted me in a really hard way and had all the symptoms and everything else. So without explaining all of those things, I was fine. Of course, I'm here, speaking to you now. But the mental state changed, and I had a lot of negativity fed into me through physicians and this, that, and the other. And this seems to be a really big deal, is that there's so much negativity wrapped around this thing that's been going on with the pandemic that I think is very, very impactful in a negative way, which is not instilling positive reinforcement of our bodies and our minds and our spirit's ability to be renewed the way we were designed, and having encouragement from healthcare professionals, from friends. Everybody's living through these things, perpetuating fear. And I don't want you to. I want you to understand that we are facing things every day that could potentially take you off this planet. Okay, that's just what it is. It's a fact. So yes, there are serious things, and yes, people are very getting to really horrible places with this stuff. As many other sicknesses, illnesses, viruses, car accidents, you name it, it's going on constantly, and there's lots of suffering around all the time, and that is the way it's been. So when we start to focus on these things, then we allow others to speak this negativity in our lives. It's going to affect your mentality of change. And when I'm talking about mentality of change, getting yourself through things healing and renewing. But then, guys, this is what really impacted me. Once I healed and I didn't have symptoms and everything else, as with many other illnesses and stuff, it drains lots of wonderful natural things from your glands that help you kind of have positive outlooks and not be down and everything else. And I hit a really serious grief-stricken, because I've dealt with that in my life, and it kind of creeped back in, and very depressed state. Once I kind of healed, and I was kind of in the clear, because a lot of this negativity still affected me, and I had a hard time just getting out of it, even with the tools that I had developed. God had instilled in me for many years of things going through. It's a really big mental game. So I just want to encourage you guys. I struggled with it. I got really down. I got really discontent, and had to push through it. Of course, I have different things that I go to that I place my trust and security in, which is God first, and He helped bring me through these things. But try to push that negativity out of you, and remember that you were designed to be whole, healthy, and strong. Okay? Some things don't turn in the right direction or the ways that we want them to, and that's okay. All right? It's all part of the process. But back on the horse. Trying to move through, knowing that I had lost a lot of time in training, a lot of time in proper nutrition, and a lot of time in just really proper mental and spiritual disciplines. These things kind of take you out of it. It's part of the process. I know that I need to get back in. So what do? Well, first, when you're dealing in a place to where you might be severely depressed, or who knows, all types of other things kind of affect you negatively at this point in time. You're depleted of your dopamine and serotonin and all that. It's difficult, but I want you to keep one thing in your mind. As usual, the reasons we did things before, probably not changed. So keeping your vision, right? Keeping the purpose and the why of why you were training, why you were trying to be healthy before, in focus. That's number one. Keep that. It's the same. It probably hasn't changed much. Okay? So reinstill that. Visualize. Back to your purpose and the why of why you're working out, why you're doing this, why you're taking care of yourself, why are you taking care of others. Get back to that. And that's going to help drive you into it. Plan. Okay? Next point is just plan. Make a plan. There's going to be a lot of people who tell you, don't go too hard. Okay? I also want to tell you, listen to yourself, okay? Take it slow, but at the same time, try to figure out your new thresholds and work past them, and still push, but take your time. Give your body time to recover. Program that, okay? We wrap our heads around proper programming based around the things we want to achieve in our training due to what? Recovery. We still need to take this into huge account. Your recovery is going to be different at this point in time. Not only have you not trained, but you also were potentially ill as well. So that affects everything, okay? O2 capacity, whatever, muscles, all this stuff. So make a plan and get on it. Schedule it. Write it down if you don't already have one. I used a pre-existing program that I wrote for myself before and scaled it down. I knew the major things I wanted to hit, and I knew the things that it was going to be very challenging. Everything was very challenging coming back. We already know how that's going to be. And that also is a mental game, and I want to talk to you about that in a second too. So you've got your plan, you've written it down, you've scheduled it, and now I want you to think about giving yourself grace, because you will not be where you were before physically, and you may not be there mentally or spiritually. So this is all a rebuilding phase, renewing of the mind and the body, okay, with the right mentality. When you don't have it, it's very difficult, but we can do a couple things to help, all right, by being intentional. We know we want to get there. It's a struggle. We don't feel the same way we did. So write it down, okay? Keep your vision, write it down, make a plan, schedule it, and then remember, when you start, it's not going to be the same. So you need to scale your loads, you need to scale your intensities, all that kind of stuff, and shorten it. Just shorten it, okay? And see how you feel. And then recover. Same way. The mundane stuff. Sleep. Plenty. Tons of hydration. Okay? Get back to your nutritional habits. Prep. Eat good. All right? Take care of yourself. Do the mental and spiritual disciplines every day, or as much as you can, when you can. That's going to take a process too. And then don't try to conquer the world your first week, or your second week. Third week, I'm on my 4th week of training since coming back. And sometimes it's discouraging to where you're not lifting or moving the same way. And that's okay. That's where the grace comes in. Remember, it's a process, okay? It's part of life's adventure. It's the journey. Same thing. You keeping it in vision. The same things that were motivating you to get to your peaks before, same things should be motivating you. Keep those priorities in perspective. And just keep pushing, because that's where you learn. That's where you grow. Whether you're pushing the same weight or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is that journey and that progression to try to achieve better things for yourself and for the people that you're sowing into, for them. Okay? So that was a lot of points. So now what do? So just set a goal, just like you did before. Okay, I want to get back to my A game in 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and just stay on it. Keep it consistent. We've talked about this in other videos. Consistency will get you there. Every workout's not going to be your best workout. You're going to have some triumphs, but then you're also going to have some discouraging things where you're just like, I want to be there now. Doesn't happen overnight, same as way as it got you there before, okay? So, take some time. Be patient, but be diligent. Once again, I just want to remind you that coming from someone who works really hard on their spiritual, mental, and physical, I struggle. And I'm still working through things. Depression was real. Extra anxiety was real. Inability to pull yourself out of a funk, okay? It's real, all right? And I struggle with these things. And I didn't also cope with this stuff as healthily as I should have in many times, that's for sure. And I'm still trying to grow into my previous disciplines. But then once I get there, then it's continuing to build on those again, and then it's another peak. But there's always something around the corner that may be trying to jeopardize those goals, those gains. And remember, the circumstances will always be there. We've talked about this before. Overcoming doesn't mean that you're going to be perfect, headstrong through the storm. Sometimes we're beat down, okay, with that storm. But when we come on the other side of it, we've got to strengthen God. And then the things that you've been doing that is built in you will start to be revived again. Don't feel like you've got to have it right then and there. No symptoms. Pull the bandage off the injury. I'm ready to go. Doesn't always work that way. I've had to learn that and also deal with these things. Okay? Anyway, that's a lot of words for you guys. First video back. My heart to yours. Just telling you, stay positive. Give yourself and others grace and forgiveness on a regular basis. It's the journey. It's the process. It's the progression to bettering your lives and then sowing into others so that they can benefit and be served by you. Joe Palmieri, HomeFit Personal Training Company. This is a production of Whole Being Strength and Conditioning for Spirit and Body. Hope I didn't bore you guys. This was a long rant. First video back in, see? Back on the horse. Guys, stay strong. Mentality. Keep it positive. If it's not, get it away from you. It ain't gonna help. Peace.